David Meeuwsen shares what hotels get wrong. In the world of hotels, most people only see the polished lobbies and room service menus. David Meeuwsen sees what's behind the scenes, what makes a hotel succeed, and what quietly makes it fall apart. Eric is a hospitality consultant based in Palm Beach, Florida. With over 30 years in the industry, he helps hotel owners and general managers fix broken systems, train staff, and improve the guest experience. But before he started advising resorts across the Caribbean and Florida, Eric was just a 20-something behind a front desk in Miami Beach. Eric grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. His dad was a commercial airline pilot. His mom taught high school Spanish. He was the youngest of 3 kids in a home where travel was always part of life. "We didn't take flashy trips," he says, "but I remember being fascinated by the way hotels worked. The check-ins, the bellhops, the smell of the lobby. I wanted to be part of that." After high school, Eric went on to Florida International University in Miami. He studied hospitality management and worked part-time at a nearby hotel. It wasn't glamorous work, but it gave him a ground-level view of how the hotel industry operates. "I learned more in the lobby than I ever did in a textbook," he says. "You learn to read people, handle pressure, and keep things moving when the system breaks." After graduating in 1993, Eric stayed in Miami Beach. He took on more responsibility at the Palms Hotel and Spa, eventually managing the front desk and helping out in food and beverage. By the late 90s, he had moved into management roles with larger hotel brands like Lowe's and Wyndham. "I never had a 5-year plan," Eric admits. "I just kept showing up, solving problems, and asking questions." His work took him from Florida to the Caribbean, with long stretches in places like Key West, Grand Cayman, and San Juan. He led resort operations, managed teams of 200-plus staff, and helped properties improve their guest satisfaction and efficiency. At one point, he served as director of operations at a luxury resort in Turks and Caicos. "We had guests expecting world-class service. Meanwhile, we were training staff who'd never worked in hospitality before." You learn quickly that leadership isn't about telling people what to do. It's about building habits and systems that last. In 2018, after nearly 3 decades in operations, Eric launched Meeuwsen Hospitality Consulting. He wanted to take what he'd learned and help hotel owners directly. "I was seeing the same problems over and over: broken processes, overwhelmed managers, staff turnover. I realized I could do more good stepping in as a consultant." His firm focuses on improving guest experience, optimizing operations, and training leadership teams. He works on site with clients and avoids cookie-cutter playbooks. "I don't just email reports," he says. "I walk the property. I shadow the night shift. That's when the real culture shows up." One example: a boutique property in Islamorada was stuck at 30% occupancy. Eric helped redesign their service flow and retrain the staff. Within a year, they were booked out on weekends. "It wasn't magic," he says. "It was fixing the basics: clean handoffs between departments, smarter scheduling, better communication." Mentorship is a big part of Eric's work. He volunteers with the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association and speaks at colleges like Palm Beach State and Florida Atlantic University. "Someone took the time to mentor me when I was starting out," he says. "I think about that every time I meet a student who's unsure if this is the right career." He encourages young people to get on the floor and learn by doing. Hospitality isn't about your title. It's about your habits. Show up early. Watch the best managers. Do the small things well. Eric has lived in Palm Beach for over 20 years, with his wife Melissa, a school art teacher. Their 2 kids are grown, One is a chef in Charleston, the other a travel photographer. On weekends, Eric's likely out fishing at sunrise or biking the lake trail. He also collects vintage hotel memorabilia, old room keys, postcards, and luggage tags from the early 1900s. It reminds me where this industry came from. He says, "There's a lot of talk now about tech and automation, but at its core, hospitality is about people feeling seen and cared for." Eric doesn't call himself a visionary. He prefers the title of operator. But for hotel owners trying to keep guests happy and staff motivated, he's the person they call when things need to change. "If there's one thing I've learned," he says, "it's that you can't fake service. You either build a culture that works or you don't. The guests will always feel the difference."